This is Scott. He got home from camp last weekend. It was one of the best weeks of his life. He learned so much, met so many cool people, and had so much fun. And he's excited to be back. He's excited to be back to school this fall because everything is different now. But then again, you're probably wondering who Scott even is. Well, let's just say things haven't always been this way. Part 1. This is Scott. He's about to be a junior. He makes good grades, he stays out of trouble, and he wants to go to college. More specifically, he wants to play football in college. He made varsity last year, he's been to camps and worked hard. He's gotten better. And the coaches think he's got a shot. Scott's dad thinks it's more than a shot. He believes. And he's not shy to tell people about it either. This is the year, he tells Scott. This is our year. Deep down, Scott's desperate for it to be true. He wants it. He wants it all. Because more than anything, he wants to be something. He wants to be someone. He sees the way people look at him when he's got his varsity jacket on. His teammates, the other kids at school, the girls. He likes that feeling. He might even love it. Dreams of lights and football and that girl from his second hour class subside as Scott realizes he's hearing his alarm and rolls over in bed. He checks his phone. 5:47 a.m. He sits up, rubs his eyes, and yawns. Another day. He gets up and shuffles into the bathroom. He keeps his phone in his hand as he brushes his teeth, checking his notifications from overnight. Summer's almost over, and it seems like every photo on Instagram is of someone on one more vacation before school starts back up next week. Must be nice. Back in his room, he pulls on his clothes for football practice. He grabs his bag and heads downstairs. He checks Twitter to see if anyone's saying anything about Friday's game. A text notification appears at the top of the screen. He presses it instantly, habitually, wishing he hadn't. Bible study before lifting. Weight room at 6:30. See you there. It's the fourth copy of the same message on his thread with Danny. Scott's never responded. He slides the phone into his pocket and picks up his backpack from where he left it on the kitchen table the day before. His dad sits with a cup of coffee and his laptop at the kitchen counter. "Make me proud today, son," he quips as Scott heads for the door. On an otherwise peaceful morning, the boys' locker room crackles with the sounds of metal doors clanking and creaking, while pads and cleats and helmets are pulled from their confined spaces, and teenage boys clamor to be heard above it all. Scott sits on a wooden bench and laces his cleats, listening to Tristan eagerly lay out the plan for the festivities to follow Friday's game. "We just gotta win. Otherwise, Coach will have us here at 7 Saturday morning. I might not be asleep by then." They all laugh, including Scott. We just gotta win, he thinks. The whistle sounds as the coaches scream corrections on the practice field. Heaving breaths, forcing air into his burning lungs, Scott hustles to the line of scrimmage, checks his position in relation to the offensive line, and then surveys the defender lined up just a yard away. The quarterback barks out his cadence. Defenders shift. Coaches yell and point and writhe in frustration. Scott waits. The ball disappears as the center hikes it. Scott's off his mark and running. At 5 paces, he feigns a movement to the right before dashing to his left out across the middle of the field. It works. He's open, like he has been countless times before. The quarterback sees. The ball spirals in Scott's direction. He stretches to corral it. His gloved fingers press in on the ball and he pulls it to his torso. He looks up. He sees the flash of the linebacker's helmet, and then everything stops. The doctor hangs the X-ray photos on the wall across from the medical table where Scott reclines. There's no good news to tell. Part 2. Unbelievable. That's the word Scott's dad uses to talk about it. The whole thing's just unbelievable, he'd say. 8 months recovery? This was our year. And to have it all end, it's just unbelievable, Scott thinks. The word rings in Scott's ears as he watches the game from the sidelines, midway through the first quarter on the last Friday night of August. The lights are bright, the stands are bustling, and the smell of hot dogs and popcorn all fill the air with the sights and sounds of football. It turns Scott's stomach. He watches his teammates, his friends, high-five and yell and run back and forth from the field to the sideline, but no one's looking at Scott. At halftime, he leaves the field with the team, but instead of the locker room, he hobbles to the parking lot. The cheers and lights fade as he strides between the cars, leaving nothing but the rhythmic click of crutches striking the concrete beneath a clear moonlit sky. At home, Scott lays in bed amidst the darkness of his bedroom. He scrolls through Instagram on his phone. It feels like everyone he knows was at the game. It feels like all his friends are at the post-game party, the victory parade, as Tristan called it. Scott didn't want to think about them. No one had texted, no one had asked, no one had noticed, it seemed. Not his friends, not his father. Scott throws his phone across the room. The soft glow of a screen appears on the wall. Picking it up, he sees the notification from Danny. "Hey, saw you left early. I know this has been rough. Sorry, bro." "Whataburger?" Scott laughs as he responds. Outside Whataburger, nearing midnight, Scott and Danny eat burgers and fries and talk about school and girls and video games and everything other than football. But eventually, inevitably, the conversation turns. "It sucks, man," Danny says, when Scott finally finishes saying all the things he's been thinking. "But you know what?" Danny says. "I don't think this is the end of the story." For the first time, Scott believes that might be true. Through the season and into the next semester, Scott starts to go to the early morning Bible study with Danny. He learns about miracles, he learns about love, and he learns about a man who rose from the dead. When summer rolls around, Scott leaves his crutches at home when he leaves to go to Camp Creek. It's one of the best weeks of his life. He learns so much, meets so many cool people, and has so much fun. He feels free for the first time. Now, he's excited to be back. He's excited to go back to school this fall because everything is different now. He still loves football, he's still playing, but there's another reason he's excited to wake up each morning. What Danny did for Scott, Scott knows he can do for others. Saving his life might be too much, but Scott knows what he's been given. This new way of life, full of grace and truth, following the words of Jesus, he wants to give that to others too. And he knows just where to start. With his neighbor.